regular meeting, March 12th, 2019. Would everyone please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag and remain standing for the invocation. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If you would remain standing, please. Abraham Lincoln is quoted as having said, "I'm a success today because I had a friend who believed in me, and I didn't have the heart to let him down." Let's pray. Most gracious Father, we thank you tonight for this opportunity to serve our community. We thank you for those that are here and for the citizens of our town. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Thank you very much. Could we have roll call, please?
Councilmember McDonald.
Here.
Graham.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Candia. Day.
Here.
Mayor Martina.
Here. We just came out of closed session, and there's nothing to report out from closed session. Item 5, declaration of conflict of interest.
None.
There being none tonight. And ceremonial matters, there is none. Item 7, items from the public. These are non-agenda items. Anyone like to speak to the council, please go to the podium, state your name and address for the record. And if you would, limit your time to 3 minutes unless the council would like to give you longer. So please, someone, no one's out there wanting, oh, there's a young lady that wants to talk to the council.
And you're students for Orstemba? So one of you have to get up and just let us know the reason of you being here this evening, okay?
Do you want them to do it first?
No.
No.
Go ahead.
Get ready. Good evening, Mayor, City Council members, and public. My name is Diana Westmoreland Pedroso, and I am with Senator Ana Caballero's office. I wanted to introduce myself, along with 2 other colleagues that work in the San Joaquin Valley, Jennifer Hidalgo and Elisa Rivera, and we will be responding to our constituents, working collaboratively with our communities, and wanted to take this time to let you know who we are. Currently, we're located at 1640 N Street in Merced. We are going to be planning on moving from there probably in about another month. And I'll come back and let you know, or Jennifer or Lisa will. So in my contact information is Diana.Westmoreland, WESTMORELAND @sen.ca.gov. Our phone number is 209-726-5495. And I want to take this opportunity to just kind of go back a little bit. On my mother's side of the family, they immigrated in 1912 from the Azores, and my great-grandparents, my great-grandfather was here in Newman on a dairy, and my great-grandmother, my grandmother, and my great-uncle went to Boston and rode the train all the way to Newman, because Newman was the it then, right? Big
Still
town
is.
of Newman.
Right, still is.
That was like the center here. And I am really honored to look at all the pictures, the old-time pictures here, and think about how my family eventually moved over to Merced, gradually, as they got there, where my parents were born and raised. So glad to have this opportunity to introduce myself. Please let us know how we might assist you all. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions?
No questions? No.
No,
Thank you very
so
much.
All right, thank you.
Welcome back.
Coming to beautiful Newman.
Okay, who's the lucky one?
Would anyone?
Oh, there he
There you go.
goes.
You know, it's like-
Go for it.
Your teacher's going to see you on television, is going to give you an A.
That's right.
It's really great to have you here today.
Actually, we're glad.
So my name is Alistair Silverman, and I just came today with my classmates, a part of our government class, and we just need to listen to you guys talk and about the problems that we're having, and the solution that we're having here in Newman, and we just have to write an essay about you guys and what you guys do here.
And what are those problems that you guys are facing with?
Well, we're just here to find out. We're just here to find out because they're doing the reason they're doing this is because they feel like the kids, like our generation, doesn't get involved enough with its own city. So they want us to do this so we can get more involved.
Perfect.
Super. Well,
Thank you,
welcome.
guys. Welcome.
You guys are here.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, you guys are the future. So the thing
That's right.
is, you need a lot. So just remember that you're going to be carrying the banner for us and through the years, you know. You know, I always look to young people because they're so bright and they're so interested in so many things. And they understand a lot more than I understand. So anyway, welcome.
I see 5 of them sitting out there. There's 5 seats up here.
That's right.
Ooh,
There you go.
future. That's our future.
Would anyone else like to speak to the council tonight? No one else? We're going to move on to our consent calendar. Tonight, consent calendar. A, waive all readings of ordinance and resolution except by title. B, adopt, approval of warrants. C, approval of minutes of February 26, 2019 meeting. D, adopt resolution number 2019, next number, a resolution authorizing the city manager or designee to sign and execute an agreement to share the current estimated cost for 2 Type 1 fire apparatuses owned by the city of Newman with West Stanislaus County Fire Protection District. E, approval of final map and subdivision improvement agreement for 1035 T Street.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to ask that we pull item D from the consent calendar just for further discussion.
Item D.
And D as in dog.
Right.
And I would move that we approve the consent calendar, items A, B, C, and E.
I'd second that.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. All in favor say aye.
All right.
Aye.
Motion carried, 4 with 1 absent. Okay, we're going to open it up for adoption of resolution number 2019, a resolution authorizing the city manager or designee to sign and execute an agreement to share the current cost for 2 fire apparatuses owned by the city of Newman with West Stanislaus County Fire Protection District.
Chief's going to go ahead and give a full presentation, and then you can answer it. Open it up to questions afterwards.
Okay, great.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. So the agenda item in front of you is an agreement with the West Stanislaus Fire Protection District. We have had an agreement in the past with them. Actually, my position was created out of this agreement. Along within that agreement, there was a cost share for apparatus. So we kind of built off that, and we came up with actually a benefit for the city. And currently, the city of Newman has a Type 1 fire apparatus. That's the big red fire engines. We have one that's our primary one that comes out, and then we have what we call a reserve or a backup in case something happened to that one. Well, the district also supplies the same apparatus, but they have a few small changes. So with that, it requires some training differences, but for the complements and the tools and the functions of these 2-piece apparatus, they're pretty much identical. So after speaking with the West Stanislaus Fire Protection District Chief, we came up with the idea, through the guidance of Michael and their board, that we would share the cost of these apparatus, which is a benefit to the city and the district. So now we'll split the cost of these apparatus 50%. We're talking maintenance, training costs, repairs, any of those things that are needed, tool complements, at 50% instead of 100% for the city. So I think it's a huge benefit for us, and going forward we'll continue to do that. Currently we're estimating about 30 years for these apparatus. We purchased, I think the last one we got was almost 400,000, and it's going to last us 30 years. So now we'll be able to split that cost in half. We'll pay 200,000 each and both get 30 years out of the apparatus. So I think it's going to be a huge benefit to the city of Newman along with the district. We came up with the estimated cost just by using comparables. The estimated cost for both engines, fully stocked with all the equipment we had listed on the report, at about $150,000. So the district agreed they'd pay the first installment this next budget year, and then the following installment after at $75,000 each. Again, it's going to reduce our training hours currently. I'll give you an example. There's the other engine the district had, it had two different types of pumps, so there's an auxiliary pump and a main pump, and we would actually have to train each staff member how to operate those two differently. Well, now we'll be able to use one apparatus, make us a more efficient on scene, and like I said, the cost savings is huge for both agencies. So I can answer any questions you guys may have.
I have a quick question.
Sure.
You said that these vehicles will, it's like a 30-year to where they would last. What's the guarantee on that? Is there a guarantee with these purchases?
There's a warranty on when you initially purchase these apparatus brand new, there's a 1-year unlimited warranty. But after that, everything else would come up as serviceable. So we would be responsible for that. But the lifespan that we expect is for our particular agency, we can get 30 to 35 years. Now, I'm not saying that's the same that Modesto's going to get, right? They're probably going to drive theirs a lot more. But for our agency, 30 years is actually a pretty good number. I mean, with that anticipated, we wouldn't need to purchase another vehicle or another apparatus till about 2021, 2022. I mean, and the one we have there as a reserve is still in pretty good shape. So, yeah.
Now, you said it was an engine, but is it two engines or an engine and a tanker?
Yeah, there are two Type 1 engines. One of them is our newest one. It's a 2007 Pierce Contender. It's pretty much brand new. And then the other one was the one we were replacing it with.
Okay.
So what we did was we took that one, put it in reserve. So like today, we went over and had it maintained. We had to get the oil changed and some other things done on our primary engine. So we brought that secondary up in case we got a call or something. So we call that the reserve. And then the other engines are primary. So they'll be buying into both of those.
So clarification just for people that are watching at home, because a lot of people don't understand. They just see Newman Fire Department and understand that's all we have is Newman Fire Department. But out of your fire department, you work West Stanislaus Fire also, which covers the county.
Correct.
And in essence, you have 4 fire engines that the county pays for 2 of them. Newman has 2 engines that we pay to, and they have completely different makeups on depending on what the county specs are and what the city specs are that the guys have to train on. And what you've done is merge that to where we only need 2 engines, split cost sharing, and less training needed because they're going to be identical and easily maintained.
Did you just work for the fire department?
I did.
Yeah.
But I just want people at home
No,
to understand that
exactly
because they don't understand that they don't understand that the department is a volunteer fire department, not only for Newman, but is also for West Stanislaus out in the county covering that. So different organizations, but all within the same one.
Correct. So we cover the city limits, and then we have an agreement with West Dan. We share that fire station, and the same people that respond within your city limits are actually responding to the greater Newman area. So currently our jurisdiction is from Merced County up to Marshall Road, from the river up to Santa Clara. So the city of Newman, the same staff is covering that whole area. So anytime we get a call, it's huge for us to be able to just hop into one apparatus and go without having to go, okay, what boundary line did we hit? What apparatus do I need? What equipment do I need? Now it's just all general and standardized, so it's awesome.
Perfect.
It'll be a great deal for us.
But
Perfect.
just to clarify also, if you're out, say at Fink Road and Highway 5, you've got other people manning the station so that if something happened in Newman, you would be able to respond?
We can't guarantee that as a volunteer fire department, but on our past practice, we'll have a crew that goes out and then it'll be backfilled.
Right.
Yeah,
And then we have the mutual aid
Right.
correct.
with
Mutual
Gustine
aid.
and some of the other ones down there.
Patterson's gonna cover us. It's just like this building right here, if I'm not mistaken. The only reason it's still standing is because of Patterson.
Correct. So
Assistance.
Patterson was one of the agencies that assisted us on this building. Gustine Fire Department, along with Merced County Fire Department. We'll even get responses from Mountain View. But yeah, when it comes to fires, we all respond. CAL FIRE can assist too if they're staff. So, yep.
So again, you guys are completely volunteer. You guys are always looking for applicants.
Always.
And is that a starting age of 18?
Correct.
Okay.
Well, you can
And
start at the age of 15 for our Explorer program, and you can come see what it's like to be a firefighter, see us on a daily
There you
basis,
go, guys.
see what kind of things we do. And then we've actually had some success stories where they transitioned from that position right into firefighting. And it's a great benefit for not just the individual, but for the department, because they bring all that training right into firefighting, and it makes it easier to train them. The training tends to be shortened because they've already had that experience ahead of time. So, yeah.
so if any of you guys are interested in firefighting, there's opportunity.
So is there an age limit?
No, so it starts at age 15, and then
Oh.
exploring goes to age 21, and then after that, we got guys that just retired out. With George was, I won't say his age, but
Yeah.
he was an older guy. Yeah,
I was
But he-
thinking about Pastor Bruce, maybe. Yeah.
that'll work too.
Chief, were they going to repurpose those county engines?
Correct. So the district engines, the one that they'll be bringing back out of the Newman station will actually go up to the Wesley station to replace the engine there, which will then be sent to the El Soyo station, and they'll retire the one at the El Soyo station. And believe it or not, the one that they're going to retire is the one we had years ago when they replaced it with the one we're sending back. So yeah, they're going to retire that one out. Yeah, so it's a good deal.
So this mutual agreement that we have with the counties turned out to be a very good thing for our city and for our community, for our citizens.
Definitely. And I think it's just getting stronger.
Yeah.
And one thing about it is this, is that I was mentioning to the chief earlier, is that our city is growing, and it's good that these things are being put in place so that we will have that protection as we grow here in the city of Newman. So thanks so much, chief.
Thank
And-
you, guys.
And just to go back, we felt it was important for this to come out so people understood what,
Exactly.
what's been happening with it. And do any of you guys watch the council meetings?
Yeah, online.
Perfect, because I'd like them to know your phone went off 3 times
Yeah.
for your meeting.
I think you turned it on. It was off when I got up here, but thank you guys.
That was for you, bud.
And with that, I'm gonna bring Dee back for,
I move that we approve consent
No, I didn't.
calendar item D as presented.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Thank
all
you.
those in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried, 4, and 1 absent. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Good job.
It's a wonderful thing to have a mutual agreement like
Oh, yeah. It's going to prove
that, especially
beneficial.
small cities need that. Okay, number 9 is a public hearing. This is second reading and adoption of ordinance number 2019, next number. An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Newman approving a First Amendment to 1035 T Street Development Agreement and authorizing staff to publish a summary of said ordinance.
Thank you, Mayor. On February 26th of this year, this item was presented to you, and you introduced this item. Tonight before you is the possible second reading and adoption, but we'll also be holding a public hearing on this. So this item is really centered around the 1035 T Street project. That's at the corner of T and Orostimba, which is a 10-lot subdivision. Kind of premium lots. All the lots are over 10,000 square foot. Kind of anticipated to be a semi-custom, but we'll have to see when the builder comes in. But the First Amendment was necessary because, as we talked about, the state has some storm drainage requirements. They call them MS4 Phase 2 requirements. In order to comply with those, the developer was going to have to put in some like little ditches and drainage ditches so the water could go in there, get cleaned up, and then before it got shipped off, it was going to create basically a maintenance nightmare for the community. With that, though, we have adopted, or we have purchased property at Canal School and in your Brazo area, that we're going to have a community-wide LID project that meets these standards for the MS4 Phase 2 requirements. So in lieu of them building those improvements on site, they're just going to pay an in lieu fee of $2,500 per lot. So that's going to generate $25,000 and those funds will go towards the development of plans, studies, and ultimately construction of the LID project on the 100 acres that you bought out at Brazo Canal School in your area. As you know, we have currently working with UC Merced. They're going to be doing some studies out there, and we have a $400,000 grant that we're working with right now that we got on that project as well. That's kind of doing some more additional studies that's going to further along, probably gets to about a 30% design. And then we hope in the fall of this year that we will be submitting a grant application with the support of UC Merced and they're called the Watershed Alliance, the one that got us the grant, and hopefully be applying for about $8 million to do the construction of that out there, the wetlands, the biofilter situation out there. So with that, again, this First Amendment is just to allow the changeover from installing those improvements to paying the in lieu fee, and we'll do a citywide project out there. So right now we're just asking that you, one, conduct a public hearing, and two, as our recommendation, that you adopt this ordinance approving a First Amendment to the 1035 T Street Development Agreement. So with that, I can answer and publish a summary. Mike will get mad if I don't do that. I'll publish a summary of said ordinance. So with that, I can answer any questions you may have.
I'm going to open it up to the public at this time. If there's anyone who would like to speak to this issue, please go to the podium, state your name and address for the record.
Carrie Thompson, 737 Black Mountain Lane. I had a question. I'm also, for those that don't know, I'm also a member of the Newman Planning Commission. And so our commission was had reviewed this. If you grab the notes on your way out, you'll see that we had reviewed this particular development previously, and it was approved. I just had a question, actually. The MS4 improvements, I'm not too clear about what that really is, and I was hoping for a little clarification. It was just my general understanding that when homes are built, that the sewers would then be hooked up to the city sewer lines, and the storm drains would be hooked up to our existing storm system. So I'm not sure I can't quite figure out what these troughs, are they like a moat?
Yeah,
going
so,
down each
and
side of the street, or?
Because there's no actual design, the way they would generally work, we're talking generalities, is the water would surface run off the streets into kind of depressed planter strips between a curb and the sidewalk.
So something akin to what's going down Sherman Parkway?
It wouldn't be that deep, but it'd be more of like more of a planter box kind of thing. It could be as deep as maybe 18 to 24 inches. Mm-hmm. There would be some light shrubbery in there, and so the water is designed to go in there, kind of slow down a little bit, drop off any of the hydrocarbons or any of the pollutants that are in the street, clean itself up, and then get into the city's storm drainage system, and then go out to the city. But if we did it that way, we'd be cleaning it about twice once we got the big biofilter out on Canal School Road. So these would be like miniature biofilters. The boxes could be, I don't know, anywhere from 3 foot to 8 foot wide. They could be anywhere up to 24 inches deep. So we thought there could possibly be some tripping hazards that go on there, if weeds could accumulate in there. So they were just going to be, and then once it filled up with dirt, how do you get all that out? So after we got...
So there won't be any, I'm sorry, excuse me, so there won't be any storm drains then?
No,
Yeah, so
this is just
so
a filtration system,
Yeah.
basically. It's a environmental
So secondary
filtration
to-
system, which is going to be built out there based on the grant that he's talking about.
So
which is
so
never
this
needed.
subdivision now will have the more traditional, what you see in the newer subdivisions now, where you just have a grate, the water pours in, it gets into a pipe, and then it gets shipped out to that area.
Yes. Okay, great. I just wanted clarification, because I
Sure.
wasn't quite clear on what all
Good
that was.
question.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And with that, does anyone else would like to speak to the council about this item?
For our high school students, that's the lot that's right across from the skate park, the big lot there. There'll be 10 houses built in
Okay, if there's no further discussion, I'm going to bring it back to the council for direction.
I move that we approve the second reading and adoption of ordinance 2019, next number, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Newman approving the First Amendment to 1035 T Street Development Agreement and authorizing staff to publish a summary of the said ordinance.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried 5 with 1 absent. 10, regular business. There's none tonight. We'll move on to item 11, items from District 5 Stanislaus County Supervisor, Mr. Jim D. Martini. Welcome, Jim.
How was your ski trip, Jim Martin? Here.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the council. I didn't hear what that question was. Was
I was saying, how was your ski trip?
it ski? Oh, I don't know how to ski. I guess. If I tried it, I'd probably fall down and break my hip. So anyway, I have a few things for you tonight. First of all, I'd like to thank the city for allowing the healthcare task force to use your community room today. We had a really good strategic planning meeting with about 15 members there. All 3 cities were in attendance there. And we came up with some different ideas of programs that we would like to do in the future and refining some of the ones we have. One of the things that we were going to do is more social media and also to revise the physician's directory, which is a little bit out of date. It's not a lot out of date, but it needs to be updated. And then some different programs for seniors or so. So we have a list of stuff that we can choose from, different people. We're going to champion those ideas and bring it back to the meeting next week to see what can be done this year as they kind of refine what the ideas were. So it was a really good meeting. The task force hasn't had a strategic plan in about 3 years. So this is really gives us a new focus. So as we are also planning, the health summit, which will start here in Newman like it usually does. This year it will be on a Monday, June 24th. So as we get the teams ready, we do have a speaker. Our keynote speaker will be Lanny Dickinson. She is the CEO of Emmanuel Hospital.
Nice.
She's new there. So we will, normally we've done on Thursday, but the West Side Theater was being used that night, so we'll do it on Monday. It doesn't matter to us. We just appreciate the ability to be able to use that facility. It's just so really nice.
What was the date again, please?
So anyway, we will be doing some planning on the Health Summit. Our next meeting is next week in Gustine on March 21st at Gustine City Hall. So there's a lot going on there with the task force now as we kind of refocus ourselves, put together the Health Summit and come up with some new programs. So again, I just think Newman has been very gracious in allowing us to use your buildings, not just today, but the West Side Theater, and they've really been good members. Okay, in other news, I brought this up before, but we got a little bit of money now. The Hills Ferry Road Bridge over the San Joaquin River, as I told you, is was going to be a retrofit. The bridge cannot be saved. It's got some structural problems. It has to be demolished. This is going to be a really expensive project. So county now has $1.5 million from Caltrans to do the engineering and design. I don't know what the total cost of this project's going to be, but it's going to be in the millions. 'Cause the bridge has to be completely demolished and rebuilt. So starting, we hope to get started. You know how government is, but 2023 is what we're told. So I wouldn't hold your breath for that, but that is if you don't have some kind of goal, you never get anything done. Generally, the federal government has paid in the past 90% of the cost of a bridge replacement. So I don't know how much it's going to cost. It could be as much as $10 million. I mean, it's a lot. And we usually can fix most bridges, but this one, Public Works said that it couldn't be repaired. So that will disrupt traffic, as there will be, the bridge will go back in the same place, as though there will not be able to cross the San Joaquin River,
Oh, wow.
that area, for probably a year. And so anyway, I don't know anything where we're at exactly on that water main extension. That's here on Mariposa Street. I think there was 13 homes there. Public Works said they were ready to start on it, but I don't know if they have or not. But that's kind of a county project, hooking residents of the county into your water system.
Right.
That will be all paid by the county. That's all I have tonight, unless you have
I have
a
a quick
question.
question for you. Wouldn't it be much cheaper, instead of tearing that bridge down or redoing it and leaving it up like it is and just building another bridge?
Oh, I've seen that done before, sometimes that can be done.
It's probably
You have
cheaper.
changed the road, to line it up.
Yeah.
I know we're doing one in 7th Street. We have to tear down that bridge. Hopefully we can tear it down before it falls into the river. But that one is, can't be realigned, and that one has to be put back in the same place. As far as I know, this other one is too, although the planning is just being done now. That could change. The 7th Street Bridge, I know for sure, they said that there's no way to realign that bridge, and so they're gonna tear it down and build the new one right in the same place. Right now, that's the plans for that one, but it could change. You can do that, but the thing is, you gotta shift the road
Right.
on both ends to be able to do it.
That's where that study come in terms of how they would do it and help.
Bridge replacement's not an easy thing, we don't do very much of it, usually we fix what we have. But apparently this one's got some kind of structural problems, and they said it was not able to replace it. In fact, what I've got from Public Works, well, it started out as a bridge retrofit, and now it is a bridge replacement. That doesn't happen very often. Okay,
Thank you.
all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Move on to item 12, item from the city manager to staff.
Thank you, Mayor. Just an update, well 6, which is the well over by T Street in Orsimba, moving along well. We got it drilled. We're probably on track to have that up and operational in April. So that's good news. Hopefully it'll stay cool until then. But everything's going well with the water still there. If we get enough dry days here, probably start out digging or drilling down the well for well 10. That's the Jensen of the well. So the company's here. They're ready to go. Their equipment's in town. They just need the field to dry out enough. The equipment's so heavy that it'll sink into the dry out there. So, we think again with another week or so of 70-degree weather, we should be pretty close to getting that one. That one. So we're going to drill the hole, we'll do some evaluations, and then we'll come back and go out to bid on all the surface improvements that go along with that. So, there are some challenges that are moving along with that project, and not to surprise you, but they all center around the state of California. and they're telling us they're going to give us money, but they're not going to give it to us until October. So Lou and I are just continuing to put the pressure on them to say that we're getting that thing bid out soon. We want to have that money as soon as possible. So I'm trying to get that, maybe possibly get them to award that to us in July, but we'll see what happens. But the good news is well 6 is going to be up and operational for us. We have a couple of recruitments that are going on right now inside the city. So right now we're recruiting for 2 police officers. And then also we have 2 positions that are open in the Public Works Department. One's for motor sweeper, and that's going to end here shortly on March 18th. And then we have due to a retirement, we have a senior maintenance worker position that's currently being is under recruitment, and that'll close in middle of April. So this is the 15th. two things we do have on March 19th, we have 2+2 with school districts, so that would be for Councilmember Graham and Councilmember McDonald. And then on March 18th, your Public Safety Subcommittee of Graham and Candia will be meeting with Sakudo to discuss how to properly honor corporalcy. And so Sakudo has some ideas they would like to share with the city. So Councilmember Graham and Councilmember Candia will represent you at the Public Safety Committee and bring that information back to you, and we can have that discussion at your next meeting in March. So with that, I can answer any questions that you may have.
I have one question. It's not so much a question. Would you explain to the audience, especially our student from Orstema, right, what 2-on-2 is?
So 2+2 is we take two of these council members here, and they meet with two members of the school board, and they just talk a little bit about things that are going on in the city and things that are going on in the school district and how we could possibly work together. And so it's just a way of communicating with what they're doing and what we're doing. Sometimes what we're doing overlaps with what they're doing, so we can share resources. And then I also attend that meeting as well, so Superintendent Randy Philpott will also attend that meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
Just a reminder too, that March 31st is the end of the citywide curbside leaf and brush pickup.
Correct, yeah, so for the residents that are out there, up until March 31st, you can put brush, lawn trim, or not lawn trimming, but when you prune your trees, you can put that at curbside, we'll come by and pick it up. Only up until March 31st. After that, you can no longer put it out there, and we'll decide if you put it out there after March 31st. Because for a lot of you, will come in on April 1st, and they'll start picking it all up, so.
Just a reminder for the city.
Thank you. Ms. Dennis?
I have nothing to share tonight, but can answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you for keeping our city safe.
I don't have anything tonight.
Just so everyone knows, Lou takes care of all the money. He's the one we kind of keep an eye on. But he keeps us financially sound. So, and I like to tell people in Stanislaus County that Newman is very financially sound. And it all comes from the people that work for the city, and they all do their part. But thank you.
Thank you.
And I want to bring this since we brought on Lou. There was an article in the Bee. There was a reference to Turlock and Turlock management in terms of them spending their revenue, their general fund budget, and how they completely spent all that money. And it was bad management over in Turlock. I don't know if anybody had a chance to read that, but I only brought that up simply to say when you have good management people in those positions that safeguard, your money, your purse money, it's very important. And so we'll do everything to make sure that Lou stays in that position, because you're doing a fantastic job in terms of safeguarding us, from overspending and making sure our budget stays intact. I just wanted to bring that up.
Likewise, our fire department, the city manager are doing an excellent job of maintaining our fire equipment and reducing our costs there too. So
Oh, yeah.
it's the entire city staff, but Lou does a special good job.
Anyway, thank you. And with that, Chief, do you have anything for us tonight?
I'll apologize again for the phone, but I think Michael brought cookies from my mistake, so we'll be okay. Okay, so sorry about that. No, I also wanted to just introduce you guys to the side of some new recruits. We are doing some recruit training, so if everything goes well, we'll be adding to the fire department, which will be, again, a benefit for our community. So you might see some new faces out there, and they're there for you guys.
With that, anything from the council?
Yeah. I'd just like to point out, it's okay his phone rang. I just wanted to point it out to his guys, because during their meetings, he's going to get fined for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Yeah, so,
But the chief is supposed to be special because, he may require to be called.
no.
In case of emergency.
Yeah, I
so-
agree.
He has a radio, not a phone.
Mayor, can I get a pardon?
No pardons, no pardons.
I'll let the students pardon.
That'll have to be a vote from your guys. I don't think that's gonna happen.
You're right.
I got nothing tonight.
I just want to take this time and thank you, students, so much for, showing up. Last night I had the opportunity to go to the school board meeting, and that room was filled with Orstember and the grade school kids. So thank you so much for coming out, participating in the process that we have for your city. And all of our people that attend these meetings, we thank you all for showing up.
Thank you. Ferry, you have anything tonight?
No, just high school students, remember to get your agenda signed.
Anyway,
Your teacher will see you on TV anyway, right? That's all right.
okay. Thank you all for coming out tonight. We really appreciate it because when you're sitting up there and you see no one out there, it's not very pleasant. So, but thank you, and I hope you did get something out of our council meeting tonight and see how the city runs a little bit. And, please come back and bring your friends. It's really important that young people like yourself learn about the city and the way that the city's run. And, so it's wonderful having you tonight. With that, I'm going to ask for adjournment.
So moved.
Second?
Yeah. In a second, all in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Yes, we are adjourned.
We are.